In a country as vast and diverse as India, there is much more than what meets the eye. Beyond the vibrant festivals, rich history, and breathtaking landscapes, lies a darker side that remains hidden from most visitors. These secrets, often shrouded in taboo and stigma, reveal a reality that few are willing to confront. In this video, we'll uncover 10 of the most shocking and unsettling truths about India, each one more surprising than the last. Stay with us until the end because one of the final topics will challenge everything you thought you knew about this fascinating nation. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss out on our latest explorations. Welcome to World Marvels. 10. The reality of prostitution. India is often depicted as a land of spirituality, tradition, and beauty. However, beneath this facade lies a grim reality that many are unaware of. In the rural heartlands of India, particularly in impoverished regions like Rajasthan, prostitution has become a means of survival for many families. This isn't just a small-scale issue. It's an underground industry that affects millions of women and young girls. In some villages, the practice of prostitution is so deeply ingrained that it has become a family tradition, passed down from one generation to the next. These young girls, often dressed up and paraded along dusty roads, are forced to sell their bodies to provide for their families. The root causes of this tragedy are deeply intertwined with poverty, lack of education, and severe social inequalities. In these regions, access to basic resources like education and healthcare is almost non-existent, pushing families to the brink of desperation. What makes this situation even more dire is the role of human trafficking. Girls are often deceived, kidnapped, and sold into prostitution rings, where they face unimaginable horrors. These rings are often protected by corrupt officials and criminal gangs, making it nearly impossible for these girls to escape their fate. Despite the hardships, these women harbor dreams of a better life. However, the path to freedom is fraught with obstacles. Escaping the clutches of poverty and the criminal networks that control their lives is no easy task. The question remains, what can be done to help these women? How can society break this cycle of exploitation and give these girls a chance at a better future? 9. The dark side of menstruation. In a country as populous and diverse as India, one would expect that common natural processes like menstruation would be openly discussed and managed. However, this is far from reality. Menstruation remains one of the most taboo subjects in India, particularly in rural areas where traditional beliefs and customs still dominate everyday life. For many young girls, menstruation is a terrifying and confusing experience. Most of them are not educated about menstruation before it happens, leading to fear and shame when they first see blood. In fact, a staggering 71% of Indian girls had no knowledge of menstruation before their first period, according to a UNICEF study. This lack of awareness and education has severe consequences. Girls often feel embarrassed and dirty, leading to social isolation. Many are forced to miss school during their periods, and some drop out entirely due to the stigma and lack of proper facilities. The absence of clean toilets and access to sanitary products in schools and homes further exacerbates the problem. Menstruation is often viewed as something shameful, and many girls are forbidden from participating in normal activities during their periods. They are often isolated from the family, not allowed to enter the kitchen or even touch food. This treatment reinforces the notion that menstruation is something dirty and disgraceful, further deepening the stigma. 8. Toilet paper controversy. In India, a country known for its rich cultural heritage and traditions, hygiene practices can differ significantly from what many in the West are accustomed to. One such practice is the widespread use of water and the left hand for personal hygiene after using the toilet, rather than toilet paper. This practice, while surprising to some, is deeply rooted in Indian culture and beliefs. In many parts of India, especially in rural areas, toilet paper is not commonly used. Instead, people use water to clean themselves after defecation, a practice that is seen as more hygienic by many Indians. The left hand is considered the unclean hand, used for tasks like cleaning after defecation, while the right hand is reserved for eating and praying. This practice has raised concerns, particularly in areas with poor sanitary conditions. The lack of proper sanitation facilities in many rural areas means that the risk of disease transmission is high. Bacteria can easily spread from hands to other surfaces, leading to gastrointestinal diseases and other health issues. The government has made efforts to improve sanitation by building millions of toilets across the country. However, changing a deeply ingrained cultural habit is not easy. Many Indians still adhere to traditional beliefs and are reluctant to switch to using toilet paper, which they see as a less effective method of cleaning. 7. The polluted sacred river. The Ganges River, often referred to as the lifeblood of India, holds a revered place in the hearts of millions. It is believed to cleanse sins and purify souls, and for centuries, it has been a central part of Indian spirituality. However, the harsh reality is that the Ganges is now one of the most polluted rivers in the world. Stretching over 2,500 kilometers, the Ganges nurtures millions of lives, providing water for drinking, agriculture, and religious rituals. But this sacred river has become a dumping ground for industrial waste, sewage, and household garbage. Each day, millions of liters of waste flow into the river, contaminating its waters and posing serious health risks to those who rely on it. During pilgrimage seasons, the pollution levels spike dramatically as millions of devotees flock to the river to bathe, drink, and collect water for religious purposes. Despite warnings from health experts about the dangers of the polluted water, many continue to believe in the river's ability to cleanse and heal. Efforts to clean up the Ganges have been ongoing for decades, but progress has been slow. The challenge lies not only in addressing the physical pollution but also in changing the deep-seated cultural beliefs that lead people to overlook the river's current state. 6. The world's largest slum. In the bustling city of Mumbai lies Dharavi, Asia's largest slum, where poverty and industry coexist in a labyrinth of narrow alleys and makeshift homes. Dharavi is a world within a world, a place where over 1 million people live and work in conditions that many would find unimaginable. Spread over just 2.1 square kilometers, Dharavi is a densely packed area where residents live in small, cramped quarters with little access to basic amenities like clean water and proper sanitation. The air is thick with the smell of sewage, and the sight of children playing in the dirt-lined streets is a common one. Despite these hardships, Dharavi is a hub of economic activity. The slum is home to thousands of small businesses, from pottery and textiles to recycling and leather production. These industries generate millions of dollars annually, making Dharavi a vital part of Mumbai's economy. However, the residents of Dharavi face numerous challenges. The lack of clean water and sanitation facilities leads to frequent outbreaks of diseases such as cholera and tuberculosis. The cramped living conditions mean that privacy is almost non-existent, and many families live in a single room, often without proper ventilation or light. 5. The price of revealing clothing. India is a country where tradition and modernity often clash, and this is particularly evident when it comes to women's clothing. While urban areas are increasingly embracing Western fashion trends, in many parts of the country, especially in rural and conservative areas, modesty in dress is not just a cultural expectation, it's a necessity for safety. India has one of the highest rates of sexual violence against women and children in the world. In many cases, the way a woman dresses is seen as an invitation for unwanted attention or worse. This is a reflection of deeply ingrained cultural misconceptions that blame the victim rather than addressing the root causes of violence. Tourists, particularly women, are often advised to dress modestly to avoid attracting unwanted attention. This means covering up with long skirts, trousers, and blouses that hide the body's shape. In religious sites, both men and women are expected to adhere to strict dress codes, often requiring them to cover their heads and remove their shoes before entering. These dress codes are not just about respect for local customs. They are also about safety. In a country where public perception can have serious consequences, dressing modestly can make a significant difference in how a woman is treated. For many women, adhering to these unwritten societal rules is a way to protect themselves in an environment where gender-based violence is a real and present danger. 4. The pesticide scandal in soft drinks. In a country where soft drinks are consumed by millions, a scandal involving pesticide contamination has shaken public trust in some of the world's biggest beverage brands. Coca-Cola and Pepsi, two of the most popular soft drinks in India, have been found to contain traces of harmful pesticides, raising serious concerns about the safety of these products. Independent studies conducted by various organizations have detected pesticide residues in samples of these soft drinks, including chemicals used in agriculture that are known to have severe health effects. These findings have sparked outrage among consumers and led to calls for stricter regulations and enforcement of food safety standards. The companies involved have consistently denied these allegations, claiming that their products are safe and meet all legal standards. However, the scientific evidence suggests otherwise, and many are questioning whether the regulatory authorities are doing enough to protect consumers. 3. The tradition of eating with hands. Eating with hands is a practice that might seem unusual to many Westerners, but in India, it is a deeply ingrained tradition that goes beyond mere practicality. In Indian culture, eating with hands is considered a more intimate and connected way of experiencing food, aligning with traditional Ayurvedic beliefs that emphasize the connection between mind, body, and spirit. According to Ayurveda, the ancient system of medicine in India, eating with hands helps to stimulate the digestive system. The fingertips are believed to have nerve endings that sense the temperature and texture of food, sending signals to the brain that prepare the stomach for digestion. This practice is thought to enhance the body's ability to absorb nutrients and improve overall health. Each finger is also believed to represent an element of nature: earth, water, fire, air, and ether, and using the fingers to eat is seen as a way to connect with the universe. This holistic approach to eating is an integral part of Indian culture and reflects a deep respect for the natural world. However, concerns about hygiene often arise, particularly in areas where sanitary conditions are poor. In well-off Indian families, it is customary to wash hands thoroughly before eating, and food is often served on clean banana leaves or metal plates. This practice helps to maintain hygiene while preserving the cultural tradition of eating with hands. 2. The significance of the red dot. The bindi, the small red often seen on the foreheads of Indian women, is a symbol that carries deep cultural and spiritual significance. While it may appear as a simple decorative mark, the bindi is much more than that. It is a powerful emblem of identity, tradition, and spirituality in Indian culture. Derived from the Sanskrit word bindu, meaning point or dot. The bindi represents the third eye, a mystical concept in Hinduism that signifies wisdom, intuition, and the ability to see beyond the physical world. In Hindu belief, the third eye is located between the eyebrows, and the bindi is applied to this spot to enhance concentration and bring balance to the mind. Traditionally, the bindi also signifies a woman's marital status. Married women often wear larger, darker bindis, while unmarried girls may wear smaller, more colorful ones. During weddings, the groom applies the bindi to the bride's forehead as a symbol of love, commitment, and fidelity. 1. The Rat Temple. In the small town of Deshnoke, Rajasthan, there exists a temple unlike any other in the world. The Karni Mata Temple, also known as the Rat Temple, is home to thousands of rats that are considered sacred by devotees. This unique religious site is a testament to the deep spiritual beliefs that permeate Indian culture. Legend has it that the rats in the Karni Mata temple are the reincarnated souls of the goddess Karni Mata's devotees. According to the story, when the son of a Karni Mata devotee drowned, the goddess resurrected him as a rat, granting him and all of his descendants sanctuary in the temple. Since then, the rats have been revered as sacred creatures, and harming them is considered a serious offense. Visitors to the temple are often surprised to see the rats freely roaming the premises, climbing on statues, and even eating from the same food as the devotees. Feeding the rats is considered a spiritually significant act, believed to bring blessings from the goddess. It is also common for visitors to walk barefoot through the temple, a sign of respect for the sacred ground. India is a land of contrasts, where tradition and modernity coexist in complex and often surprising ways. From the hidden realities of prostitution to the deeply spiritual practices surrounding the Ganges River, the country's cultural landscape is as diverse as it is fascinating. Each of these topics reveals a different facet of India, highlighting both the beauty and the challenges that define this remarkable nation. What are your thoughts on these hidden aspects of Indian culture? Have you ever experienced any of these firsthand? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to World Marvels for more intriguing content. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.